Now on to number 3. We have to find the congruency of these triangles. So for the first triangle, if we were to flip the triangle like over the x-axis where A is at the top and B is at the bottom, and then flip it kind of over like a y-axis, we'll come together and we see that these two angles and these two sides are the same, but that doesn't tell us this angle right here or this side or this angle, so these two are not congruent. The second triangle, we see these two angles are congruent and these two angles are congruent, so that means that the side in between them must be congruent, so this is congruent with angle side angle. Number 3, if we took the M or KJM triangle and we kind of flipped it over like over a y-axis where M was over here and JK was over here, then we flipped it down over an x-axis, we have these two sides congruent right here, so that will give us this angle in the middle. It tells us it's the same, so these are congruent for our side angle side. Triangle 4, if we were to flip it down to where they're on top of each other, we have these two angles right here the same and these two angles right here the same, but nothing tells us what these sides or these angles in here are, so we can't tell if those are congruent or not. Triangle 5, if we were to do the same thing like we did on the other KJM up here, then we would flip it like an x-axis kind of, and then or a y-axis and then down over like an x-axis, and that gives us this angle and this side. But for them to be congruent, we need to know like this angle right here. Instead of like knowing this side, we would use this angle so we could have like angle side angle. But since we don't, and there's just a big gap right here, then we can't find out if these are congruent or not. And the last one, triangle 6, if you just took this corner and folded over this corner, we'd have these two sides congruent and these two sides, which tells us that this angle in the middle right here is congruent to this one on this triangle. So these will be congruent with side angle side.